Okay, it is officially started.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we have all confirmed everybody is registered. There's no questions about the registration process or where you got the access code or any of that. We're 100% clear on that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to jump into, this is your professor's course. So this is his home screen. Your home screen looks very similar, minus a couple of accoutrements that are just specific to the professor. But I wanted to talk about the SmartBook, which down here on the right-hand side is where you would launch SmartBook. And I wanted to point out that when it comes up, you will see it will walk you through what SmartBook is if you've never had an interface with it. And SmartBook is an adaptive reading experience. So, for instance, you don't read a textbook the way you would read a novel. And when you're reading a textbook, if you're reading a chapter, you want to make sure that as you're going along reading, you retain it. How many times have you started chapter 1, page 1, you read 50 pages, you're in the chapter, and then you take a test and you're like, wait, I thought I knew this, and there's big gaps that you forgot. So what SmartBook does is it interacts with you as you're reading through the material. It presents the material to you in a relevant way for each one of you. So when you go in for the first time, it will walk you through how SmartBook works, and I'm going to do this with you so you'll see. The authors have gone through and initially highlighted the foundational knowledge in yellow. So think about when you build a house, first you pour the foundation, then you do the footings, et cetera, et cetera. So instead of just like looking at a page and going, well, where do I start? The authors have gone through and highlighted these foundational topics. So you go through and you're working. I'm just going through this. Yay, I did it. So you're going to go into study content. And in your course, do you want to just be do you want to be anonymous, or you want your name in there? Or?
Oh, I don't mind having my name.
Okay. But you can, choose to do alias. You'll see there's two tabs up here. There's the assignments tab and the self-study tab. If your professor is going to be creating specific assignments with specific due dates around it, you would see those on that home page, but they would also show up here under assignments. Right now it says there's none, because there wasn't any officially assigned on the
There wasn't. I did assign 4 assignments because we have assignments due every Wednesday and Monday. So I have
those were homework, right?
Homework, yes.
But not SmartBook.
Not SmartBook.
There's a separate assignment for SmartBook. Yes,
see.
Yes. So then, so you can work when he assigns the SmartBook assignments. You can work through that way, or if you just go right into self-study, you have all of your chapters here. You launch the self-study. And as you see down here, there are the navigation. You can go in between sections of the text, of the chapter, I should say, or highlights. So as you go through the highlights, you'll see this is the yellow that I was talking about. So as you're moving through the material and you're focusing on reading the foundational knowledge highlighted in yellow, and you're moving through, and obviously I'm moving through much faster than normally it would take you to read. But this button down here called Practice will start to flash after you get through a few pages. And what comes up is a question. And you're going to see questions around what you've just read, and it will come up in several different formats. Sometimes it will come up as a fill in the blank. Sometimes it will come up as a true-false. Sometimes multiple choice. And what that's getting at is different levels of understanding. So if you had a question where there was true-false, there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get it right. So it shows kind of a lower level of understanding. When you have a problem, like a question like this, where it's asking you to recall a specific word or phrase to put it in, that means it's registered in your brain even deeper. So it's a higher level of understanding. Does that make sense? Okay.
And one thing that I want to point out is, remember last class we said, you want to both read the book and come to class. So when you read the book, I highly recommend reading it through SmartBook because it's going to keep you more engaged. It's going to give you questions like this.
So when you see these questions, it's going to have you go ahead and answer the question. And then it's going to ask for your confidence level. I answer everything dog. That's just me. I don't all the other different ones I do. It's never right. That I do it on purpose. But it's asking you, okay, if you're putting in this answer, how confident are you that it's correct? So if you were saying, this is my answer and I know it, that's a really high confidence level. Like, yep, I absolutely know this. I'm just going to keep going through. Oh, I got it right. Yay. But after a while, if you're, I keep getting them right. if you get multiple ones wrong, but you're continuing saying, I know it, the system will literally stop. And there's a little coach that comes up and says, okay, it looks like you're not understanding the concept, and we'll take you back in to read where you're struggling. So it kind of catches you before you fall, so that you're seeing, okay, gosh, I really thought I know it. Okay, no, you didn't. On the flip side of that, when you're answering correctly like I was, and you're saying, I know it, the system is saying, okay, yeah, you do know it. And it's giving you maybe a little more difficult questions. You're doing a kind of a progression forward. And the other kind of the think so, unsure, no idea, those are just different kind of confidence levels that if you're thinking, okay, I think it's this, that's almost kind of like a 50-50 guess. So maybe if a question came up that was a true false and you answered it correctly, but you said that you're unsure, you might get a similar type of question with a fill in the blank. So because you're like, okay, I thought I know it. And then if you're able to fill it in, the program is going, okay, yeah, you do know it. And then counts it forward. So it's this continual kind of this back and forth. And you always get feedback. And then as you're moving along, the read button will start to flash. Or you can always just go back to read whenever you want to. And the content will come back up. And as you work through it, the material that you have gotten correct will be highlighted in green. So what will happen is as you're moving through the chapter, the questions you've gotten correct around the material you read will turn green. New yellow highlights will come up. So you're progressing through a way that it's making sure you've gotten it. Does that make sense? Has anybody ever used this in any of our other books? Okay, what ones? Econ. Okay. And I don't cover econ, but did it kind of work about the same way? Okay. Did you find that it kind of helped you a little bit, that you figured out, okay, I was missing some stuff? Somewhat? It depends too on how much you are already familiar with the topic too. So, that is the navigation of SmartBook. Again, it's launched from here, but when if your instructor assigns it, it would show up in here under this whole tile. Also in Connect, I want to make sure that you can see where you have resources for instance, videos.
And this one's really important because not all the videos that I assign are there. If you want more videos, you have to go into this video menu. Like one video you noticed that wasn't on the homework was discrete versus continuous. Why didn't we have a discrete versus continuous homework video assigned? We did it in class, so I didn't feel it was necessary to assign a video that had discrete versus continuous, but you will find in the videos that there is a discrete versus continuous video in there if you do want to watch it to get extra practice.
So,
and one other thing that I had a question on is we're also going to have our own videos that we're recording and stuff. Yes. Now I know in my math lab, there's a spot that we can link the videos from YouTube to my math lab. Does Connect Math have a similar feature where I can put our YouTube videos in the video?
Yes. So
okay, perfect.
You would create a new home. Well, it wouldn't go in the video. You would create a new assignment, other new assignment. And then you can do an external assignment.
Okay.
I don't want to go too deep into your assignments here because I don't want to mess up what you've done. But yes, you do it through external and then you put the link.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to just cancel that, but that's absolutely. Yes.
And can I email you if I have any additional questions or we find
yes.
any questions after you leave?
Yes, and also I want to give you guys the number for tech support because
okay.
I'm broad-based information, but tech support, let me give you the number. And this is good to have.
And I do want to point out that Tammy really is the Connect Math expert. I am not an expert on Connect Math. I will try as best as I can to help you. But if we can't figure it out, Tammy is going to be the best resource here.
And if it's something that I can't, I mean, a lot of times calling tech support directly, try that first. They're based, I'm in the field at different campuses. So it's an 800 number. Get ready to write. Are you ready? It's 800-258-2374. So, and tech support is based in Irvine. So, and they're mathematicians and computer scientists, super smart people. So, you know, if you're having trouble logging in, you're saying, I'm not seeing this, I would actually start with that first, because they have the ability to look at, with your permission, because you're on the phone with them, look at your course on the back end. I don't have that kind of access at all. They have that window where they can say, oh, okay, yeah, you're doing this, you need to be clicking here and you're clicking there, type of deal. Does that? And as you're building assignments, they can help you as well, because they can see your course.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So
this number is just as important for me as it is for them.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. They're really, really helpful. So anything I didn't cover?
I think that's good for now, because I was just going to show them that I also upload the documents.
Okay.
So if you guys click on resources, I highly recommend doing this today when you get home, because you'll see here we have a section called course files, and this includes everything we went over last class. You'll see that even this lesson that we did with the discrete versus continuous has been uploaded. And remember that I printed this out for you, and I also am printing out today's lesson, but starting next Tuesday, I'm not going to be printing out the lessons anymore. It is your responsibility. As much as I would love to print them out for you every single class, I actually don't have access to the copy room. I have to go and bug the copy room person to let me in. So that's why I'm going to suggest printing it out on your own. Hopefully you all have a printer. I believe there's even a printer in this room. Worst case scenario, you can even print it out from one of these computers to the printer there. But starting on Tuesday, you will want to print out whatever the lesson is to be completed in class.
Excellent. Any questions? So everybody's registered, everybody started their homework, everybody's good on SmartBook.
Come on, we have some questions. Let's take a few seconds to kind of think about it. I'm sure we can think of something to ask. Yes, David.
There were like assignments on SmartBook, or those like part of the homework that we need to complete or such.
Exactly. So just like the videos get posted to the same place that the problem homeworks, like the homeworks that have questions, get posted to, same thing with any SmartBook assignments. They will also get posted there, and everything is scored. The videos are scored, the SmartBook is scored, the in-class problems. The in-class problems will be worth the most, because that is what will prepare us for the tests and quizzes. The other stuff does get assigned there too. Does that answer the question?
Did you have a question?
That was my exact question.
Okay.
The same question?
The same question, yeah.
Yeah, anything that I assign will go into the assignment menu, but does that mean that you shouldn't look at things that are not assigned? Did I say that I was assigning every single video? No. Does that mean we can't look at them? No, we can definitely take a look. There's some great videos as well as great SmartBook lessons. And as I said before, if you're going to look at the book, which we're supposed to do every single class, definitely do it with the SmartBook. It'll be much more interactive.
Cool.
Yes.
Can you actually show us how to like access like the actual textbook? Like if you don't see.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you don't want to do the SmartBook, yeah.
Sorry. So if you just want to add the ebook. So this is just a static ebook. Yep, that's it. Right
Yeah, everything we could possibly need is in here. The grade book if you want to check your grades, although I do need to adjust the settings to be more accurate. As some assignments will come in, I will start updating it. But everything's there, any resource, grades, etc., book, all that good stuff. The only thing that's really not in there is our YouTube videos, so we're gonna actually subscribe to the YouTube channel today. That way we get updates every single time a video's uploaded.
All right.
Anything else you wanna say, Tammy?
No, just good luck, do well, have fun.
Thank you. Well,
It's a good
thank you
class.
so much
Oh,
for coming today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Avoid getting drowned out there.
Oh, I know. I parked really far away.
Thank you.
Okay, so we had a great look at that Connect Math menu. Now I want to talk briefly about virtual office hours. We did have the virtual office hour link last night. Raise your hand if you received the virtual office hour link. If you didn't receive it, please come see me after class. It's possible your email hadn't been added to the list. Maybe it was and I made a typo or something like that. Now, we did have one participant last night who has said that they would share a little bit of their experience with the virtual office hours. So, Lena, is there anything you want to say?
Really helpful. I was like confused with the homework system. Like the homework was not hard, but it kept marking me wrong. I didn't know how to do attempts, so it was helpful to get to do the homework with him, and he kind of showed me how to navigate the system. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, thanks, Lena. We used Google Hangouts last night. We're probably going to use Google Hangouts for the most part. With Google Hangouts, I can share my screen, you can share your screen, we can see what's going on both of our computers, so that way we can fix any issues. Any questions on the virtual office hours? Okay, we're gonna do our YouTube subscription. So let's go ahead and go to the computers in the back and make sure we take the Excel activity from last class. It had like 3 plus 3 and stuff like that. So let's go find a computer, log on.
You just take your channel and grab that.
You're both there. I don't want to do that.
You're ready now.
So as soon as you've logged in, you're gonna wanna go onto Excel. Now, if you're still logging on to the computer, that's fine, because I'm actually gonna show us how to do the first problem while we're waiting. To do any sort of problem, like an addition problem or a subtraction problem, you're gonna wanna hit the equal sign in Excel first, so that if you look at the screen here, you'll see that before you can do any sort of calculation, you gotta hit that equal sign. And then do the calculation, which in this case is 7 plus 8. And you'll see that it'll give you 15. I know I did that a little bit fast, but we're still waiting for our computers to log in. If you have already logged in and you're already in Excel, see if you can do all of the problems that are on the page. I'm going to come around and check to make sure that we are able to get through all the problems. I'm also going to be taking attendance.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Also,
Okay.
It was part of it. It's more important that you got the answers on your document. You're welcome. Okay, let me see. I might have one. You're in luck. This is the last one that I have. I just asked if you want to write Now, does anyone know what symbol we use for multiplication? Good. The star symbol is used for multiplication. Very good. And what do we use for division? The slash. Good. A lot of us maybe have done this before. The part that's a little bit harder is the next part, where it says to do something with an entire column. So what I want everyone to do for that is to put the column, use like a different column, maybe like column D. Go ahead and type in the word place, and then type in all the values, which are 15, 6, 9, 10, 95, 19, 16, 15, 1, 50, and 17. You still want to make sure you let all the others
I haven't done that.
Okay, well, I haven't done that part yet, so that's fine. What you do is you multiply the first one by 4, and then you drag it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for some people to get Yes, so right, all I've done so far is I've just put all the numbers through. I'm still waiting for them still to finish the first one. Were you able to get the other stuff? Yeah. I'm coming around to make sure that you all got 540 for the last one. Were you able to get 540?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Okay, we're ready now to multiply the column by 4. This is the best way to do it. Hit the equal sign like you normally do. Do not type in 15. Instead, click on the 15 or type in D2. That's an alternate method. Either click on the 15 or type in D2. And then what am I going to do? How do I multiply something by 4? Good. Star 4. And then this is the part where everyone's going to have to watch because it's hard to explain verbally. You have to take your mouse and you have to put it in the bottom right-hand corner so that it changes to this little symbol here. We all see that the symbol went from white to black. It has to be a little black plus sign. See how it's in the bottom right-hand corner? It has to be right in that perfect little spot where it goes from white to black. Click on it and then drag it all the way down. Now you have to hold and drag. So you have to click and hold and then drag it down.
And then we subtract it from 4. And then
See if you can do the rest of them on your own.
Then you drag down. And it's like, it'll like compute all of that. No. There we go. Yeah. No, how did I do that? You did D2 something. I think I did E. Here we go. See, you're D. You're D1.
I would love it better.
And then you use time.
You didn't put all your numbers in somewhere. You said, I did. You did. You said, are you stupid?
Okay, one last thing that I want to show everyone how to do is just how to assort data from smallest to largest. To do that, you need to be in the home screen and then click on the sort and filter button, which is in the top right-hand corner, and that'll help you sort the values from smallest to largest. The last thing we're going to do is we're just going to sort them from the smallest to the largest. Oh, equals x to the if you want to just supplement, just that's actually something that's yeah, last thing I want to show you guys is the sum feature. To sum a column, just do equals, SUM, and then hit the tab button, and then highlight all the values. And that'll sum all the values together.
I could have sworn it was just like. Well, you know, every time you freaking It says you have to put it in.
We're just making a budget. Oh, I've been. Hey, how do we subtract and find?
So remember how we multiplied everything by 4? It's the same thing except this time we're gonna subtract.
So, yeah.
So it's
We write.
Exactly.
And then we do minus.
So whenever you wanna click on the value.
I think I did.
You guys able to do something? Equals X equals. If you want to.
I want to change my number.
Wait, thank you. What was the question?
Any numbers you want to sum, you just highlight numbers you want to sum. This one.
Yeah, no, how do you do this?
Oh, here we go. I remember that. Yeah,
It's possible. Squished, but it's okay. We're just like playing around today.
From the first, how do I like go back?
You hit the back button.
We had to do some again. Oh,
Equals SU and tab.
yeah, how do you sum? So, tab. I haven't been saving them, but I need to like.
No, that's okay. We're just playing around.
Oh, okay, so what do I add? I'm like,
Oh, now I understand.
So originally it was the sum. So you just do in a box and it's equals SU and tab.
There we go.
all, so adding all the others.
Yeah.
So we have to sort it out.
Okay, good. It looks like most of us played around with everything. It's okay if we didn't do every single thing that the worksheet wanted us to do. You guys get to keep the worksheets if you want to play around with them in the future. We are actually, we're a little bit pressed for time today, so we're actually gonna do our lesson next. So go ahead and leave everything how it is on the computer because we may have time to come back to the computers later. But we're gonna do something else back in our island. I've been calling this the island. We're taking that path to master math. I want to hear I hate I struggle with
How many bins?
Yeah.
How many bins? Suck my busy.
So today we're gonna make some really beautiful histograms. So I'll just show you guys what a histogram looks like. It looks like this. Perhaps we've seen them before. What we do is we group all of our data together and then we make a bar chart. So the hard part is actually grouping the data together. The bar chart is not that hard. We'll do that at the end if we have time. But the important part is to do the grouping because on Connect Math, you're going to need to do the grouping. So basically, to do the grouping, you need to make a table first. That's why if we look at our worksheets, we see that they're all tables because you can't make a graph unless you have a table because you can't have the graph without the table. just like in regular math classes, we always make a table first with a little X and the Y chart before we do the graphing. Like we always need to know what our table says before we graph stuff. Actually, that's 3 and 2, 4. So you have to be able to make that table before you make the graph. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's take a look at our worksheet here, and I'm gonna load it on here like I normally do. Oh wait, I want to save it in a PDF file. And we do not need computers for this, so we can go ahead and put all of our computers away. We will be using we're going to be using Poll Everywhere, so please do get out your smartphones for this. And make sure your app is open.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so here's an example. Does anyone know what the point of a histogram is?
Show the distribution of data.
Good. How many of us want to look at this big giant raw data column thing? Would we rather look at that, or would we rather look at a nice, beautiful histogram bar? Beautiful histogram with bars rather than looking at that awful little raw data set at the top. Now, one thing that we do to group our data is we create sort of a bin. So we group our nearby values. Like in this case, we're going to group, what does it say to group in this worksheet?
It's asking you to find like the amount of people who are 86 to 88 inches.
Good. So what numbers that group together?
86, 87, 88.
Good. That means that we're creating a bin or a class by grouping 86, 87, and 88. And then we can look at the frequency or the number of people that fall between 86 and 88. Yes?
Okay, so, well, there's 9, but the highest option is.
There's 9. Okay, let's double check it. How about what we should do? Okay, I don't want us to read the answer out loud, but one thing we can do is, because we are using poll, we're going to use Poll Everywhere to answer this one. We can do the free response Poll Everywhere. So this time it's going to ask you for the number that are between. It's not going to be multiple choice. You'll enter in how many you believe that are between 86 and 88. Maybe there was a mistake. So please, same rule as last time. It's Lowenstein, Ryan Lowenstein 013. So make sure that you're in the Poll Everywhere, Ryan Lowenstein 013. Okay. I want you to use the app.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so after class, we need to set that up. Okay, so please type in your answer. Ryan Lowenstein, that's why the app is super important. Because it saves all of that stuff. Okay, there's only 9 results so far.
Can we type the number or?
You can type these in.
What are we doing?
Question 1. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and show the results. Okay, we're getting a lot of different numbers. Infinity, okay, well, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, we're grouping 86, 87, and 88 together. So in order to see which belong, I highly recommend checking them off. 84, that's not 86, 87, or 88. Don't use that one. 86, that is 86, 87, or 88. 89, again, or 84 is not, 89 is not, 85 is not, but 88 is. If we keep going across, 88, 86, 86, 86, 87, 87, and 86. So how many check marks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer was 9. I apologize for not having that on the worksheet. But F, or 9, was the answer.
When I said 36, what I thought was like 9 out of 25 is 36%, and I didn't even realize that.
Okay. So remember, that's okay. I mean, remember from the homework we have frequency. We have frequency, which would be 9, and then we have relative frequency. So remember that frequency is 9. How do we find relative frequency? Frequency, which is 9, divided by the total. There's 25, and that's about 0.36. So that's how you got that number. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, let's go ahead and do question 2. This one is a discussion question, so I want to hear us discussing. Again, I want to put our phones, we're not using our phones for this one, so put your phone at the top of the desk so you're not distracted. I'm hoping we finish this worksheet today. We're going to go ahead and discuss the second question here. I'm going to come around and help everyone. So I want to hear us discussing this out loud.
More accurate representation of data.
David, what's your last name?
Semester.
No, it doesn't like okay.
Accurate
Possible that we can get a group of three in here. So you can like this is close.
You're gonna one on the far right. You guys take business analytics yet? It's just
Okay, let's go ahead and share. How many of us thought that this one here was the best one? How many of us thought this was the best one? How many of us thought this one was the best one? How many of us thought this was the best one? Yeah, it actually is. So I would say this is the best. This is the second best, and this is probably the worst one. You know what? It really just depends on the data set on what works out to be the best. There is a guide that we use that's called Mendenhall's Guide that kind of tells you how many we should have, and it says for 25 you should have 6. And there were 25, and we did have 6. But, you know, again, it depends on the person that's constructing the chart. It's up to you on how you want to do it. Personally, this one shows a more accurate picture of where your data falls without even using it. Okay, any questions on number 2? Okay, number 3. Let's go ahead and discuss number 3. I added an extra value. Again.
They should have more classes. 83. More classes. That's 15 years right there.
What are we saying about number three? You guys talk about?
You know what I think we should do? I think
More classes.
Yeah.
this one picks it up.
I was gonna say more, I didn't know which one.
Pretty jokes.
Yeah, okay.
Number of classes right now.
How many bins, bro?
My boy dropped. You did?
Yeah. I think a lot of us are a little confused because we don't know what the definition of a class is. What was the definition of a class? What was another word for class? A bin. These are examples of bins. How many did we have in the previous one? 6. How many are we gonna have if we add an extra number? 7, possibly 7. So we don't even know. Again, it's up to us on how many we want. But is 7 more or less than 6? More. So the answer should be more. It says, should they have more or less? The answer is more. So that brings us to number 4. And I'm gonna circle more for this one. Okay, do we all see that as you start adding data, you're gonna have more classes? They recommend that for 50 that you have 7. That means, what are you gonna have to do? Are you gonna list them out all individually like you did in the first problem? No, you're gonna start grouping them. They're gonna start to look like the first column or the second column, depending on how many you have. So if you have 500, they recommend having 10. This is called Mendenhall's guide. Let's see if we can fill in the blank here as the amount of data collected blank, frequency distribution, number of classes blank. Well, this is the number of classes. What's happening as the amount of data increases good, the amount of classes increases good. So we both nailed that one, I guess. So good. It would be increases and increases. Okay, then the remainder of questions are gonna use this these two tables. So what I did here is I gave a new raw data set. Our new raw data set is temperature, and then I grouped them. First question is, did I use the right number of classes? Go ahead and discuss this in your groups.
Oh my God, it's right here. No. Smallest value that can belong to a class at a lower limit. What if the lower limit is on the second class?
Okay, what was the recommended amount of classes? How many values do we have? We're dealing with a different data set. How many days were there? How many data values are there? 31. And what does the guide say if we look at the guide? Is there one for 31? Do we have a guide for 31? No, but is 31 closer to 25 or 50? 25, so you should have about 6. Again, it's up to the person making the chart, but should you only have 3? 1, 2, 3? No. So the answer for this one is no. You need more than 3. We need more than 3. Okay, next we're gonna do a poll everywhere question. So we call the lower limit that smallest value that can go into the bin. So by the second class, I'm talking about the 70 to 79. The 70 to 79. So we're going to do this on poll everywhere again. So I'm going to switch back to poll everywhere. Here's our question. Okay, go ahead and vote for A, B, C, or, oh wait, there should be E. Let me see if we even need E. Okay, we don't need E, so just vote for whatever. Good. B was the correct answer. It's 70. So what we mean by the lower limit is we mean this. The lower limit in the second class is the 70. We mean the first value because that's the smallest value that gets grouped in with the 70. 70 degrees is the smallest value that will get grouped in with 70. So therefore B is the correct answer. But what about the upper limit here? This thing always gets in the way and I don't know how to there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and discuss the question to number 7. I gave a definition for lower limit. I also want us to give a definition for upper limit. Is it the largest value that can belong to a bin? We saw that the lower limit was the smallest value that can belong to the bin. So is the upper limit the largest value that can belong to the bin? I want us to critique that statement. So go ahead and again form your groups and discuss the answer. We do not need our phones for this.
I don't think. The smallest value that can belong to a class. Lower limit, the largest value that can belong to a bin. I do not see I don't know, maybe use a different word. It's literally word for word except just use class and bin. Maybe use the word use class. I don't know.
Okay, let's discuss. How many of us think that this definition is perfect? The highest value that goes in the class. Well, I'm afraid we're not wrong, but we could make it better. I don't want to say we're wrong because we just raised our hand and I don't want to embarrass anyone. Maybe I already did that. Okay, where does 79.5 go? Does it go into the 70 to 79 or does it go into the 80 to 89?
Wait, that's
Okay, can a temperature be 79.5 degrees?
Yeah.
Yes, so where does it go?
It can also be continuous though, because all the temperature.
It is continuous, so I actually rounded all the values. But where does the 79.5 go? It goes into the 81. Because all the values were rounded. Well, yeah, because we're not going to round 79.5 to 75.
Wait, no, what about 79.2?
Where does 79.2 get rounded to 79? So 79.2 goes into the 79 bin, but the 79.5 goes into the 80 bin. So anything that's 79.5 or higher goes into the upper bin.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
No, I got that. Okay, so what I wanted to get out of this example is it's the largest rounded value. Okay, the length of each bin is called the class width. So I gave you guys a number line here, and does the class width go from 60 to 69, or does it go from 60 to 70?
And looks like 70.
Okay, go ahead and discuss this. Okay, let's take here's the big hint. You have to account for all the data. How many bins did we have? How many bins were there in this example? 3. So if we go from 60 to 69 and then we go from 70 to 79, are we counting for the whole data? No, we left out between 69 and 70. So we're just gonna generalize, and we're gonna say the class width goes all the way from 60 to 70, so that way we can account for the entire data. So
If you're given this data, aren't you just like supposed to assume that there's just like, and you're making like a histogram, it's just like frequency, so aren't you just assuming that it's you just using these values?
exactly. The only reason why we need to say this statement is because what is the class width here? Is it 9 or is it 10? It's 10. So we just needed to say that it goes from 60 to 70 so that we can say that the class width is 10. Well, what we could do is we could say that it goes from 59.5 to 69.5. But that's just, but we've already rounded all the values anyway, so we might as well just round them from 60 to 70. But we could say that it goes from 59.5 to 69.5. But regardless of that, our class width is still going to be what? 10. So you add 10 to go from the 60 to the 70. And if we look at the top here, we see that the first lower limit is 60 and then the second lower limit is 70. So you're going to add 10 to go from the first lower limit to the second lower limit. Okay, so our width was 10 because we're adding 10 to go from first lower to second lower. 60 plus 10 gives us 70. That way we can account for the entire thing. Yes?
I just have a question, sorry if it sounds like but if we have to do the class width is 10, you said we need the 59.5 to round to 59.70 to get close.
So we're just rounding the values. So 59 we're ignoring because we didn't have any 59s in the data set, but we could have a class going from 50 to 59. Then again, we have 10 from 50 to 60.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's a class width formula that we can use. How do we get the class width formula? Let's go ahead and see if we can hypothesize what it is in our groups.
Smallest value over the number of classes. The largest one, smallest over the number of classes. Right?
If you do it by number of values, you can
Over number of
89 minus 62 divided by 31.
So 90 minus 60. 90 minus 60 is 30. Are we going to divide 30 by 3 or are we going to divide 30 by 31? by 3. So what are we putting on the bottom? Number of classes. So we need number of classes here. Okay, but the thing is, in our data sets, things never really work out perfectly. We really shouldn't have been doing 90 minus 60. We really should have been doing 89 minus 62, because 62 was really the smallest value in the data set. So now we're going to make a corrected histogram using how many classes were we supposed to do with Mendenhall's diet? I think we already answered that. It was A. Let's start number 11 to find the class width. We really are supposed to do 89 minus blank over blank. Let's see if we can fill those in. Use your partner if you need help.
No, 27 divided by 6.
Roughly 4. It is 4. It's exactly 4.
Is closer to 25.
No, you're right.
Okay, poll everywhere should pop up now.
Which one?
Oh, I went
Sorry guys, I sneezed.
Oh, we're still using.
But if we can do all as a class.
Yeah.
We'll leverage
So this is for like the so there's 3 designs.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, well, we got a lot of different values. Okay, so the largest value is 89. What's the smallest value? 62. And how many classes did I say we're doing? 6. If you do that, you get 4.5. Should you use a class width of 4.5 if there's no decimals? No, just save yourself and round to 5. Okay, some of us are asking, how did I get 6? That comes from this Mendenhall's guide here. You look at the data size. What was our data size for the temperatures? 31. So really our classes should be like 6 point something, but just do 6 because 6 is a lot easier than 6 point something. So that's where we got the 6 from. So you round and you get 5 classes here. So that's why I put 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no. This is not 5 classes. This is class what? Class width. We're finding the class width. We are having 6 classes, which is why in number 12, did I give us 6 classes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our width is 5. So let's choose the correct chart, whichever one we think it is, and finish it. So for the rest of class, let's use our partners to see if we can fill in the rest of the chart. Pick the right chart, and then use your class width to fill in the chart.
Oh wait, I get it. I don't know what it is, but I know that
There's only 5. Maybe there's 6. There's 6 things, and only supposed to have like 5 bits.
Oh, no. Yeah, this
Oh. Analytics 102, or MGSC 2, or whatever. What's my frequency, man? 62 to 67. Alright, I'll tell you in a minute. Seven. Cool. 68, 73. Yeah.
68 to 74.
Wow. Oh my god. I'm a beast. 6. 80 to 85.
If 60, 70 minus 62 over the number of positives.
10, 22, 28. That's short though. It's only 29.
Okay, here's the trick. When we did it with the 3 classes, what was the class width? What was the class width in this one? In the wrong one? 10. 60 to 70. The class width was 10. What's the class width now? 5. But we're starting at 62. So we have to add 5 and get 67. So it's this one. The width goes from lower to lower. Okay, I'll do this one more time. This is where a lot of us get stuck. The width goes from lower to lower.
There it is.
The width goes from lower to lower. What's 10 plus 60? 70. What's 5 plus 62? 67. But the 67 needs to go in the next box. Needs to go in this box. Okay. Let's do this again. Class width goes from low to low. 10 plus 60 equals 70. This time, in the next box, we're starting at 62. Add 5 to 62 to go from low to low.
Why'd you start at 62?
Because we want to start with the smallest value in the data set, and we used a 62 over here in the class width calculator.
So are we just disregarding the first box? No, we don't have the first box.
The first one, are you talking all the way at the top where it had 3?
No, like the 3 in the row. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, we're just doing the one that correctly is correct for our data. So we're not going to be using this one, and we're not going to be using this one.
I'm all messed up.
Okay, so just make sure to fill in the rest of them. What's 67 plus 5? 72, and then this one is 77, 82, and 87. And then what's this one going to go to? 71. This one's going to go to 76, 81, 86, and just copy the format and we go to 91, or you could just do 87 plus is usually the best thing to do. And then you look at the frequencies, how many fall between 62 and 66. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that fall between those. Okay, if you need to rewatch any of this video, it is available online. Oh, the YouTube channel. That was the last thing I forgot to talk about. I want you to guys, if someone has a laptop, I want to see if this works, but because it works on my computer, all I have to do is go to YouTube and then type in Chapman stats, and our video pops up. Just click on here and it shows us the video from the previous class. It should pop up, but I'm not 100% sure if that's okay. Okay, make sure to use the video if you need extra help, or you can ask me any questions before I leave. Homework has been posted. When's homework due? Monday night. If you need to fill out the card, make sure you come fill out the card.
When you make your bins, you go from lower limit to lower limit. Not lower to higher, lower to higher. You know what I'm saying?
Let's look at the worksheet.
Like, I know there's like the thing on Excel that like does it for you, but like
I know. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. You mean
like for this, you're so you 62 to 67 here, so you just go lower than
67 to yeah, you add 5 to it.
and then you just subtract 1 from
exactly. Okay, so you guys have to do your cards. Okay. And then the instructions. I don't know what I did with them. I hope I didn't take the instructions out. You know what? I saved them. They're on here. Let me just stop recording because that way this doesn't go onto the recorder.